John Dee's Monas Hieroglyphica is the third in what I'm going to go ahead and call Ouroboros Press's Blue Period books. Blue Period because, well, they contrast quite starkly with their old style, which was really very, very lovely letterpressed books with very high quality paper and so on and so forth. But I believe that the press who were creating this books closed down due to material cost increases and so on and so forth. But Ouroboros Press have continued to put out these essential esoteric books, the Hermetic Dictionary, the Hermetica, and now John Dee's Monas Hieroglyphica, which was a little book that John Dee produced for King Maximilian II, who was protecting him when he was in exile from England. And John Dee created this book as a gift for King Maximilian II, but it was clearly a great joy for him to write this book. John Dee was one of these people who loves puzzles. I mean, all of his work is mathematical and puzzle oriented. If you've read some of the less famous work from Lewis Carroll, you might get an idea of what kind of person this is. A person who loves using language puns, but also a massive fan of numbers, and a person who will use numbers just for fun. And that's clearly what's going on over here. Numbers, geometry, and this is a person who has an enormous amount of knowledge, both from classical knowledge and also from esoteric knowledge, and he's putting all of this together in this pamphlet. Let's call it a pamphlet because it's actually quite short. The book here is quite long. I mean, we're over 100 pages, thanks to the copious notes and introduction by the fantastic translators, Doctors Teresa Burns and Dr. Nancy Turner, who have done a fantastic job here of making some of these puzzles available to the reader. The original was written mostly in Latin, but also using some Greek and using some Hebrew and so on and so forth. And the translators here have given us so many footnotes to be able to access some of these puns, some of these play on words, some of these esoteric games that John Dee is playing here with this emblem, right? This Monas Hieroglyphica, this symbol that he has created, and which he explores through this book and explains what's special about it and how it might be understood. And I thought that I had, just by looking at the symbol, I thought that I'd dissected it quite thoroughly, but I had obviously missed a lot, to say the least. Lots and lots of these theorems, as you can see. So each theorem approaches the Monas Hieroglyphica from a different perspective and in a new way, and dissects it from a new perspective. I think that's the right way to put it. And these footnotes don't spoil everything, right? So you can still engage in the fun if this is the kind of activity that you find enjoyment from, right? So it doesn't spoil everything, but it does give you some of the keys that you'll need to be able to engage fully with the activity or with the text. John Dee is explaining what's going on, but in his explanation there are obfuscations and games that he's playing with the reader, right? yeah, it's a great amount of fun to read about it all. The introduction by the translation, the main translator, who is Dr. Teresa Burns, is a really nice insight into how this was written and why this was written, and also into the process of translation. So that was really fun to read in itself. And also, of course, we've got Joseph Uccello designing the book, and well, I'm a huge fan of what Joseph Uccello brings to his work. Right, every book that has been designed by Joseph Uccello, you can tell it's always a huge joy to see his work. So there we go. That's basically it in terms of the contents. The form of the book, I don't know, have I shown you the cover? So this is what you get underneath the dust cover, excuse me. So this quite nice gold stamp of the Monas Hieroglyphica itself on the front, and then the cover itself is it's a nylon cover, and then this is what the spine looks like. So if you're less of a fan of the new kind of grey and blue look, and you have many of the older Ouroboros Press books in this style, you'll see that actually fits quite nicely together, even though the color is different. The style remains the same, so you can very easily get rid of the dust cover if you wish. I'll also point out that the book is nicely constructed, right? It's a nice solid book and Smith sewn, as you can see. However, the paper quality leaves a lot to be desired. You can see all the little specks and dots and imperfections there in the paper. We're quite a long way away from the paper quality of Ouroboros Press's heyday, but it's just what's happened, right, in the world. The cost of materials has skyrocketed, and in order to be able to keep similar prices to what they used to have, and continue bringing these essential books to the public, they've clearly had to make some compromises on some of the materials used. It's not a big problem, to be honest with you. I obviously noticed it when I opened the book. Ouroboros Press excuse me, have been known for making some of the most beautiful books on the market over the past decade. And that's it's no longer really the case, just because of that drop in the quality of the materials. But in terms of the contents, and in terms of how beautiful the layout of the page is, and the fonts used, and how easy it is to read off the page, and so on and so forth, is very, very quick. The moment between the time between the moment when you realize that it's not as beautiful, that the paper isn't as nice as it used to be, and the moment when you start going, but actually it's a fascinating book and a very beautifully produced book as well, is very short. It's a very short a very short step from one to the other, and I made it very, very quickly, and I can completely forgive this. It's a very small detail when everything else is so exciting. Really, I mean that. it is exciting and a lot of fun to read through. There we are. Lots to dig into here. There's probably a lifetime to actually get out everything that's actually put into this book. He said, apparently John Dee said that it took him 12 days to write this, but it took an entire lifetime to gather the kind of knowledge required to write it. And that should probably give you an idea of how densely packed this work actually is. There we are. Those are my thoughts on the Monas Hieroglyphica, the new Ouroboros Press edition. Fantastic work by both translators here, and of course by William Kiesel and Joseph Uccello. Great stuff. Thank you for watching, everyone. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and to subscribe down below if you haven't done so already. And I will see you very soon with another video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.